Welcome to my kitchen. And yes, if you watched last week's video, I had the same outfit on. Yes, I know that. Anyway, today we're making homemade pasta, and I'm going to show how to make a couple of different sauces, one of them being a fresh tomato sauce. It literally just takes minutes. What I'm going to show you how to do first is how to get the skin off of fresh tomatoes. It's so easy. You don't want to try to peel these because it's just not going to work. All you're going to do is you're going to make an X. You're going to score them, which is making an X on the bottom. And then we're going to plunge these into some boiling hot water. Let them sit for a couple minutes. The skin is actually going to start to peel back. Then we'll plunge them into an ice bath, which is simply a bowl of cold water with some ice. That'll stop the cooking because we don't want these to get mushy or anything like that. So all we're going to do now is just peel off all the skin from the tomatoes, and you can see how easy it just literally lifts right off. After we get these peeled, we are going to just chop these up, throw them in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil and salt, garlic, and it's just going to be a really nice, fresh tomato sauce. And then while our tomato sauce is cooking, I'm going to show you how to make homemade pesto sauce. Here's how to make fresh pesto. And what I want to point out before we get started is I bought basil in this package right here for $4.99, or you can go to the store and for the same price I got this nice basil plant, which is about the same amount, but this is going to continue to grow. So whether or not you're growing your own or you buy it at the store, I'd go with growing your own. It's not that hard. So I just wanted to point that out. For our pesto today, normally I use pine nuts, but pine nuts are so expensive and they're very hard to find. You can't find them at every grocery store. So instead, we're going to use basil, pecans, olive oil, some grated Romano, and some salt and pepper. And you know what? Some people have made fun of my old blender here. My husband said to refer to it as vintage. After you've done this, after you've mixed it a little bit, you can get a spoon, stir it up a bit. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil. And I tell you what, those pecans taste just fine instead of pine nuts. And seriously, that is all it takes. So I'm going to get this put aside. Our tomato sauce is cooking, and next we're going to go on to the main event, homemade pasta. This literally cost about 25 cents. What I'm making right now would feed about 3. Got a cup of flour, some egg, a little bit of salt, and some water. You know, you can expand on this if you want to by adding different, like you could do spinach or whatever. You notice I have a little bit extra water here, so as you go through, if you need to add a little bit more water, you can. I'm not using oil in this. Some people make homemade pasta with oil. I'm just doing water. And all I'm going to do is literally sit here and knead this for a couple of minutes, just like this. Once you have your dough like a pretty good consistency, you could put it out on a cutting board and just with the palm of your hand, knead it a little bit more like this. And then we're just going to let this sit for a couple of minutes. Our pasta is literally just sat here for a couple of minutes. The consistency is just fine. I'm still a beginner at this, so I totally want to do this in batches. I picked this pasta press up at Ross for $19.99. Bed Bath & Beyond also has them for $20, and I believe you can pick them up at Target or Walmart. It should not cost you more than $20, and believe me, it's like a miracle. So anyway, you want to put it in. This is what's going to thin it out. I don't know what this little slot's called.
Thinner.
A thinner. I thought you had to have like, you know, $1 million, okay, maybe not $1 million, but $1,000 pasta thing. Look at this. Homemade pasta! Who knew? Seriously, this took like 5 minutes. So I'm going to continue getting this dough pressed out. We're going to cook it up, and then I'll see you back when we dress it with our tomato sauce and our pesto. Homemade pasta, homemade fresh tomato sauce, or whether you want to do homemade pesto. All of it fresh, really quick. And seriously, it's like you're tasting the best of the garden. I mean, these are great deals, great meals to make in the summertime. I've already tasted both sauces. They were way good, but I'm not going to try to eat them on a TV because sometimes, blah. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I will see you next week, and cheers, or tally-ho, or ciao.
She still, she still, got all the good.